All right, Shalom. I want to start by saying, call Allah, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kakadash. Double honors to the Apostles of Israel, aka the Apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach His truth and all truth and sincerity. All right, so real quick, I came across pages, social media by the name of End Time Headline, and he or they pretty good on posting current events. So every now and again, so if they post something real good, which they do, have been doing quite often, I Google it, see like the most recent article on it, and go from there. So through the spirit of Yahawah Shemi Shah, it's involving obviously World War III, and it's involving with war with Europe and Russia, because that's prophecy. And we're all about preaching prophecy. The prophets, the true prophets of the Lord, the one true living God, whose name is Yahawah Shemi Shah, he's all about prophecy. Because why? These are the things he set up from the beginning to happen. And now he set up his prophets to speak before these things happen, to prophesy exactly what it means to say. And now the thing that the prophets have been talking about for all this time, all these years, is now coming to pass. All right? And these are scriptures from written thousands of years ago. All right? So this is a article. And by the way, my name is Ali Ashad. So there's an article by News By, and this is a platform. This is the news, and it's based out of Belarus. I think I'm pronouncing it right, but it's in Europe. It's a European country, and this article is from 12/7. Oh, excuse me, 12/7, July 12th, 2025. So this was yesterday, okay? And it says France and UK ready to deploy troops to Ukraine. Now, if France, UK, European countries, NATO countries, EU countries, they're sending troops to the UK, to the Ukraine, right? Why would they? Who is Ukraine fighting right now? They're fighting Russia, and that war has been going on for actually like 3 years now. So, when the beginning of 2026 comes, that's going to be 4 years. I believe February officially. 4 years that Russia and Ukraine have been fighting. Now you have France and the UK says ready to deploy troops to Ukraine. So what does that mean? They're deploying troops to Ukraine to help fight against Russia. Now, that's prophecy. That's a lot of prophecy. That's ultimately the third woe. That's the nations assembling themselves. Joel, the 3rd chapter. Revelation, we're talking about the nations, the war. Third woe. Isaiah, the 33rd chapter, 34, I think 34th chapter, we're talking about the Lord going to slaughter the nations. Second Esdras, the 13th chapter, where it talks about the nations are fighting each other and then fight the Lord, who is Yahawashai. This was about to happen. So all these events that's in the scriptures, it's all playing out to lead to those very events that was written in the scriptures, as far as the actual events of the prophecy. So let me get into this article. So it says, according to Emmanuel Macron, a Franco-British military corps numbering 50,000 soldiers may be sent to Ukraine. This deployment would occur immediately after a ceasefire is declared. The so-called so hold up, if it's a ceasefire declared, why would you send troops to there if it's supposed to be a ceasefire and peace? It said the so-called coalition of willing would take control of Ukraine's skies and coastal areas, with London and Paris deploying troops. Now, you think Russia's going to just idly stand by and just let that go down? It said it should be noted that Macron and British Prime Minister Starmer frequently make statements to this effect. Moreover, the number of troops they intend to send to Ukraine is consistently changing. It remains unclear where Macron plans to find the funds and 50,000 soldiers to carry out such a risky mission. Now, why would it be a risky mission? Because why? They're going to fight. That means there would be ensuing war against Russia. And we already had President Putin talk about, like, yo, man, we're ready for war with NATO and the U.S. And UK, that's a direct ally to America, NATO, and all that shit. So this is heavy stuff right here. So if they actually do pull this off, if they're actually able to do it, that's going to be a hell of a shift in this conflict and in this war. That's why it's called a risky mission. Damn, that was it. Oh. Let's see what this says. This is from Euromaidan Press, which is another European platform. So it says UK is ready for Ukraine peacekeeping mission if there's ever peace to keep. It says British troops will help enforce an agreement that remains out of reach. That remains out of reach. So an agreement that remains out of reach. So this is from, this article is from July 10th, which was, what was that, Thursday? Yeah. No. Yeah, it was like Thursday. So it says Britain is ready to send troops to Ukraine. UK Defense Secretary John Healey confirmed, as part of a coalition of the willing, proposed international effort to keep the peace in Ukraine. While no peace agreement exists and does not seem reachable in the near future, the UK government says it stands prepared to help reinforce the ceasefire. So they talk about peace, but they're saying that the peace is out of reach, and it don't seem. And it says while no peace agreement exists and does not seem reachable in the near future. So you're talking about something that's not even playing out. To me that they said it don't seem one in the near future, a peace agreement. It says since January, U.S. President Donald Trump is pushing for peace talks between Kiev and Moscow, allegedly to achieve a ceasefire and then peace. Russia sticks to its original demands, terms that equate to Ukraine's capitulation, and keeps intensifying its air and ground assaults, convinced Ukraine is reaching its limit. Healey confirms UK will send troops. It says, as Express reports, this would place British soldiers in Ukraine as part of a coalition peacekeeping mission. France and the UK are expected to provide the core of the force, but support from the United States will also be required. So that means that they need the United States to send troops there too. And let's see how that plays out. Let's say this does happen. They send these troops over there and talk about a peace for peace. Is Russia going to think that's a peace action? Why are you sending military troops if you want peace? And you talk about there's no peace agreement exists and doesn't seem to have one in the near future. It says the development comes amid broader defense coordination between London and Paris, focused on strengthening European responses to future threats. It says many European political and military leaders warn that Russia could regain full-scale conventional military capabilities within 2 to 5 years, potentially enabling a new confrontation with NATO. Everything is a lot of this 2-5 year time frame, because a lot of things happen. Think about all that's happened within the last 5 years now, from 2020 to 2025. Look how much has transpired. You had all this war stuff start, all this AI, all this automated stuff go into heavy gear. It says NATO, potentially enabling a new confrontation with NATO. So this is talking about Russia. It says in the meantime, Moscow to continue to escalate its air and missile strikes on Ukraine while expanding hybrid operations such as sabotage, disinformation, and cyber attacks across Europe. In response, European states are accelerating defense spending, hardening borders, and expanding joint military readiness to deter renewed Russian aggression. So what is Europe talking about right now? They're talking about going to war with Russia. Now, this is not American news media. They're not telling you this in America. And here it is, these same countries, as UK and France, these same countries saying that the United States will have to get on board with this as well. So that means that that's Europe and America, NATO, EU, whatever, against Russia. And that's also what Satan's house divided, because these are all Edomites. Russia and Ukraine, those are Edomites. So that also goes into Satan's house divided. How shall it stand? If this is Esau's kingdom and Esau got the fatness of the earth, but yet you have all these Edomite countries and nations beefing. It says French President Emmanuel Macron is in the UK on a state visit. So this is on the 10th of July. So this is a couple days ago. It says meeting Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer as part of the 37th Franco-British Summit held at Downing Street. According to Defense Secretary John Healey, the summit is the first with a European ally since Brexit and reflects efforts to rebuild strategic defense ties. The UK and France will create a joint rapid deployment force of 50,000 troops to defend Europe and respond to extreme threats. Plans include closer coordination on nuclear deterrence, military exercise, and operational readiness. So what? Nuclear. More nuclear talks. So what is this also? What did Yahawashi say? Hold on, let's get it. So there's the book of Matthew, chapter 24. I'm going to start verse 3. And it reads, And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him, this is Yahawashi, came to him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? And we go into the NLT, it says, Later, Yahawashi sat on the Mount of Olives. His disciples came to him privately and said, Tell us, when will all this happen? What sign will signal your return and the end of the world? But not the end of the world, the earth, but the end of the current world, the end of Esau's world. And remember, at this time, Esau is already ruling because this is the Roman Empire. Esdras it says, for Esau, the end of the world, Jacob, the beginning of that followed. The Roman Empire is part of Esau's kingdom. America, EU, NATO is all part of Esau's kingdom. So he said, and says, and Yahawashi answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. And NLT, it says, Yahawashi told them, Don't let anyone mislead you. Verse 5, For many shall come my name, saying, I am the Messiah, and shall deceive many. Verse 6, and here where it gets good. I'm reading this in NLT. It says, And you will hear wars and threats of wars, but don't panic. Yes, these things must take place, but the end won't follow immediately. Because why? These things are taking place right now. That's the Lord said these things must take place. So you have to have Russia, America, NATO, EU, Ukraine, the small hats, all these countries, all these regions going to war with each other. And ultimately the whole world, all these countries, Europe, Africa, Asia, North America, because Canada's part of NATO. I want to say they sent troops over to Ukraine, or they were talking about sending troops to Ukraine. All right, and it says, verse 7, it says, For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And you read that in NLT, it says, Nation will go to war against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in many parts of the world, and that's what's happening right now. Wars, threats of wars, earthquakes, kingdom against kingdom, nation against nation. It's not Esau nation, it's not Moab a nation, Ammon, Ham, who else? What you got? Elam, Ishmael. All these nations are involved in all these skirmishes and all these conflicts. And that's nation and against nation. Because why? This is ultimately going to be what? World war. The war of the nation. But this is going to be the war to end all wars. Know that. It says, verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrow. So that's what's happening right now. And remember, these are wars of man, but you still got the Lord visiting the earth with all these storms. I believe they said the spot that got hit in Texas, I think they got hit with flooding again, if I'm not mistaken. So Esau, you're cooked. You're literally cooked. And you're not gonna come up from this. Remember, all this is gonna lead to actually a nuclear war. So all what's happening right now, all that's transpiring is gonna lead to that great day. And that great day is what? The return of Yahawashi, what the disciples are asking him about. When you see these things, know that that's the sign of his return. So ain't gonna be no more after the nukes fly. Ain't gonna be no more Esau ruling. Ain't gonna be no more these other nations having their way with us and being over us. That's what they fail to realize. I'm gonna go back to this article. Bear with me 1 sec. Salaki about that. Phone started overheating. So yeah, it said the two countries will also order more Storm Shadow missiles and begin developing a successor to the long-range weapon which has been supplied to Ukraine, Express says. So what? So this hold up. Is this not yet Joel, the 3rd chapter, coming to pass as we speak? So this is the book Joel chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 9, and it reads, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. And that's what they're doing right now, preparing war. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, and all these other nations, those are the Gentile nations, the heathens. Esau, Elam, Ishmael, all these nations, they're all of the Gentiles. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Say to the this is NLT now, Joel chapter 3 verse 9. Say to the nations far and wide, get ready for war. Call out your best warriors, let all your fighting men advance for the attack. And that's what's happening right now. What do you think they're deploying troops for? And remember, that's just two countries. Soon all these, remember the Lord is assembling, gathering the nations. Gather in America, gather the UK, gather France. All you Edomites, especially all you Edomite countries, remember this is your downfall. And what you're doing right now, what you think you're doing is on some. You're trying to. This is the you're holding on, but at the end of the day, this is the sign to your end. Verse 10, Joel chapter 3, it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I'm strong. And that's what's going on with Iran. Because here that you had Trump, the US, they attacked the Iran a couple weeks back. And they thought was going to go away. Remember, America is not the big bad bully no more. You're not the big man on campus no more. All these other nations have the same capabilities as you. All right? So Iran, you got North Korea causing static. You got Kim Jong-un talking about, yo, we ready to go to war with the US and NATO, what have you. You got China. You got China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, Pakistan. A lot of countries in Africa, they're Russia. Remember, that's Ezekiel the 38th chapter. The Lord said what? There should be a guard unto them. So Russia is the other big man on campus on the other side, on the eastern part of the world. Verse 11. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 11. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither call thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. And that's what they're doing. Everybody, and that war is going to take place over there in that part of the world. I'm going to read that in NLT. So this is Joel chapter 3, verse 11 in the NLT. Come quickly, all you nations, everywhere. All you nations, everywhere. Gather together in the valley, and now, O Lord, call out your warriors. That's what they're doing right now. They're calling out the warriors. They're about to start deploying more and more soldiers over into that region of the earth, especially over there in the Middle East. And remember, the Ukrainians, that's Amalek too. A lot of Amalekites over there too. All that Khazar and So yeah, verse 12, and it says, let the heathen be awakened. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And we read that in NLT, it says, let the nations be called to arms. Let them march to the valley of Jehoshaphat. And that's over there, what? In the region of Jerusalem, Israel. Over there in the Middle East. That's why there's so much static going on over there right now. You see what's happening over there with BB and them? The ongoing war that's been going on daily, man. And it's not going to stop. It ain't going to stop until YAHAWASHI comes back. YAHAWASHI is going to be the one to bring the peace and end these wars. Yeah, so YAHAWASHI is going to bring the peace into these wars. Yeah. Okay, hold on 1 second. So we go in there. Oh, speaking of which, since he said that, he said, I will gather all the nations, right? So this is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 15. It says, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. And that's the day we're approaching. That's what's about to happen. Wait, how much are going to come back and judge the nation? The Lord's going to judge all the heathen round about. So yeah, it says, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. That reward shall return upon thine own head. But what main nation is it talk about in the chapter of Obadiah, or this book of Obadiah? It's the nation of Esau, Edom. And Edom is at the forefront of all of this. Russia is Edomites, America are Edomites, the small hats are Edomites, EU is Edomites, NATO's Edomites, all these countries, all Edomites. And then you have all these other nations fall right behind Esau, getting all involved in this war. Because remember, this is Esau's kingdom, so they're all trying to, whatever they're doing to be a major player in this kingdom. But they're not talking about America being insured. They're not talking about taking Esau out of rulership. But here the prophets of YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI say what? These devils is in power, and that they got to get taken out of power ASAP. Verse 16, it says, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. Because all of this prosperity I have over the Israelites, it's not even gonna be a thing. It ain't gonna be a thing. You're not gonna have no prosperity in our kingdom except whatever we let you have. Esau, you're fucked. You're gonna be at the bottom. And all you other nations, all your main goal is gonna be is to serve the Israelites, man. It says, verse 17 of Obadiah, it says, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance. So that's the Israelites, starting with the elect. And there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possession. Because we're going to take everything you have, man. And we're going to take you. Thus saith YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Hey, thus saith the Lord. It is written. It was written. And the things happen that's written in this book, the scriptures, is happening as we speak. How is that possible? How is that possible? No other religion, no other doctrine has that kind of consistency, man. Has any of that consistency. These other religions, they don't have prophecy. You don't hear they talk about prophecy that's coming to pass. They're all trying to handle themselves in this kingdom. You don't hear them talk about, they gotta be taking out Allah, Muhammad, where we're gonna take them out of power and we gonna rule next. You don't hear them Pakistanis talking like that. They're just living. All these heathen, all they're doing is just living. But they're living under a ruler of Esau. Esau's ruling. Next is just going to be Jacob. Remember, the heathen go under whoever's ruling on the earth. And all these other nations have ruled on the earth. A majority of them, yeah. All the nations, and they've ruled over Israel. They've all been over Israel. Since the time we came out of Egypt, up until you had the little thing with David and Solomon. But at the end of the day, for the most part, Israel's been in captivity. And it says, in the house, verse 18 of Obadiah, chapter 1, it says, in the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. And that goes into also Lamentation, the 4th chapter, where it says, you going to drink this cup, Esau, and you other nations going to share sips with Esau. Matter of fact, hold on, let me see something. I think that's Isaiah 60. So this is the book of Isaiah chapter 60 verse 10, and I'm going to read this in the NLT. It reads, foreigners will come to rebuild your towns, and their kings will serve you. Whoa, their kings will serve you. Who is you? Who is the you talking to the Israelites? Because in the NLT, if you go into the first verse, the caption reads, future glory for Jerusalem. Now, we know that Jerusalem is a people before a place, and that Jerusalem is talking about the children of Israel, starting with the elect, the remnant of Jacob first, and then the rest of Israel. So, in the first verse of Isaiah chapter 60 in the NLT, it says, arise, Jerusalem, let your light shine for all to see, for the glory of the Lord rises, the glory of the Lord, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, rises to shine on you. And that's starting what? This truth, this knowledge. Us being awakened in our captivity. Us understanding now that we are the children of Israel in the land of our captivity. The Lord giving us his name back to the supreme weapon against evil. Actually, I'm gonna read that in I'm gonna read verse 5, and I'm gonna jump back down to verse 10. So this is Isaiah chapter 60, verse 5. I'm reading the King James and NLT. So the King James, it says, "Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee." The forces of the Gentile, what? Y'all spoils, nigga. Bring that gold, bring that silver, bring that wine, bring everything, bring everything. It said the Gentile because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The abundance of the sea. That's even today. That's how stuff is transported. Major produce is transported. Transport of goods, and y'all be transporting your goods for eternity, man. We're gonna be immortals on earth. Y'all gonna born, live, die, and all that is just gonna be serving us, and we just never gonna die. Yahawashi gonna be right there. The Israelites gonna be the elect, the 144,000, and then the rest of the nation, Israel, a nation of immortals, a nation of gods, the sons and daughters of God, the sons and daughters of Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI on the earth, in the glory of Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. That's what you got. That's what y'all don't fail to realize. That's going to happen. And each day we're getting closer to that very time. So if you read that in NLT, it says, "Your eyes will shine and your heart will thrill with joy. For merchants from around the world will come to you. They will bring you the wealth of many lands." The wealth of many lands. Elam, Ishmael, all that gold they got over there, all the resources they got over there in other parts of the earth. Esau, you're not, remember all those, remember, the lands where a lot of that Europe, Europe and Russia and all that. But we gonna take all that. That's gonna be our land. So it ain't gonna be just Jerusalem. It's gonna be all of that. All that's gonna be ours. Remember, Esau, you're not gonna have nothing. So Russia ain't gonna be a thing. Europe ain't gonna be a thing. All that Poland, sweet, we gonna take all that back. We taking all of that. Because you're gonna be dethroned. And it's not like the other nations are gonna take over that land. We're gonna take over that land. All right? So jump down to verse 10. I read that NLT as well. It says, "Foreigners will come." Foreigners are what? The Gentiles. "Foreigners will come to rebuild your towns, and their kings will serve you. For though I have destroyed you in my anger," which we're playing out right now, it says, "I will now have mercy on you through my grace." And that's starting with the elect. Hope, Lord willing, be part of the elect, man. Because that's who's going to receive the glory and the mercy first. Because when the nuclear destruction comes, a lot of Israelites are going to be taken out. Everybody that's left in Israel, all the Israelites left in America that's not part of the elect. If you're left here, you're going to be burned with fire. These devils about to bring out that mark of the beast. All this AI, all this automated shit is all going towards the MOTB, man. The ultimate goal. You just had Elon Musk, the Neuralink. Another person got implanted with a brain chip. Another paralyzed person. Now they're saying they can control things with their mind, like control like the computer and shit with their mind. Verse 11. This is King James. It says, "Therefore thy gate shall be open continually; they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought." So it said day or night. Day or night. Yo, bring that, run that. This is ours. And that's all through the power of Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Because why? Yahawashi is going to be on the earth. When this happens, Yahawashi is going to be back in the earth with the glory on the earth, the glory from the heavens. And that's going to be quite the sight. And that's why y'all going to be in awe of the Israelites, man. They in awe of the Israelites now, and we're in a fucked up state. And look what the Israelites have the capability of doing. All of the talents and all of the salt that we have. That's from on high. That's from heavens, man. We didn't create ourselves. That's what the Lord said. "I made you a peculiar people unto a peculiar treasure unto myself." The Lord made us this way. The Lord created us. The Lord chose us. So tough luck. And the Lord said he does not change. So the nation of Israel is always going to be the Lord's chosen nation. His one and only chosen nation. Verse 11 in the NLT, it says, "Your gates will stay open day and night." So it ain't gonna be no worries. Ain't gonna be like, "Oh, at nighttime we gotta watch out, shit. A lot of shit happens at nighttime." But we're not gonna have no worries. We're not gonna have no worries like, "Yo, yeah, they trying to take us down, or they trying to do this, they trying to do that." It says it's going to be open day and night, and they're going to be bringing shit, bringing stuff. Yeah, so Isaiah 16:11 in the NLT, it says, your gates will stay open day and night to receive the wealth of many lands. The kings of the world will be led as captives in a victory possession. That didn't happen with the small hats. Your gates are not open day or night. You're at war right now. Then the Lord said that when the nation of Israel went back to the land, it said the nation shall learn war no more. So why is it that they're preparing for war more and more? Verse 12 of Isaiah chapter 60, it says, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. So we're gonna have resistance. We're gonna have little stupid motherfuckers come here thinking they could not have to serve us. And also, the power we're gonna have to judge you and to spank you. We're gonna please resist. Resist. What did YAHAWASHI say? He said, those be my enemies that would not have me reign over them. Bring hither and slay them before me. So you read that in NLT, it says, for the nations that refuse to serve you will be destroyed. So what's going to happen to the little outcast stupid motherfuckers that don't think they got to serve the Israelites? What do you think we're going to do to them? Swing, swing, swing. Like all the great power we're going to have, it's going to be light work. We're going to yo, come try us. Man, we're going to have the power from the heavens, man. We're going to have the power over the elements, and you're nothing but an element. You're going to be nothing but flesh. Our bodies are going to be from the heavens, man, not of this earth. Just like YAHAWASHI. Yeah, we are the flesh now. We're like men now, but in that time, we're going to be like immortals. We're going to be immortals. And if you don't want to serve immortals and you're a mortal person, what's going to happen to you? Matter of fact, oh yeah, I can't even got the apocrypha. Fuck. Oh shit, wrong. Wrong. Oh shit, hold up. Fuck. Hold on, man. So this is the book of Isaiah chapter 34. I'm starting at the top, and this is in the NLT. And the caption reads, a message to the nations. A message to the nations. But who is this message from? From YAHAWASHI, and by the mouth of who? His prophets. The prophets of YAHAWASHI are telling you Gentiles, you other nations, you heathens, that you will go into captivity under the Israelites. And that there is a God, the one true living God is on our side, whose name is YAHAWASHI, and he's going to allow us to put you in slavery. And before that happens, y'all going to go to war with each other and destroy each other, and then get put into slavery. That's going to be the fun part. Watching y'all destroy yourselves. So get all your nuclear weapons ready. Get all those missiles and rockets. Get all of that ready. Get your soldiers ready. Get all of that ready. Because that great day of the Lord is upon y'all. That's what the Lord said, what? The day of the Lord is upon all the heathen. All your armies. All right? So, this is the book of Isaiah chapter 34, verse 1 in the NLT. It says, come here and listen, O nation of the earth. Let the world and everything in it hear my words. Now, didn't the Lord let his word go throughout the four corners of the earth through the mouth of the prophets who are Israelites? Telling the earth like, yo, man, this was about to go down. It was written. Verse 2, it says, for the Lord is enraged against the nations. His fury is against all their armies. And what U.S. army, Russian army, Chinese army, Iranian army, North Korean army, South Korean army, Japanese army, Filipino army, all the armies, all the militaries. All right? His fury is against all their armies. He will completely destroy them, dooming them to slaughter. That's what why don't they read that in churches? This didn't take place yet. And even if it did take place, why wouldn't they talk about it? They don't never talk about the Lord's judgment when it comes to it being like, unaliving people. Even though the Lord has unalized people every day, they never give them that respect. Verse 3, it says, their dead will be, this is Isaiah 34:3 in the NLT. It says, their dead will be left unburied, and the stench of rotting bodies will fill the land. The mountains will flow with their blood. Yo, what? Hey, and that's what's happening right now in Ukraine, Russia, our land, where them devils is at right now, them Amalekites is at, Iran. There's already, yo, what the Iranian, all them Iranian heads that got taken out by the Amalek and them, all the so-called the IDF soldiers, they began taken out. The whole thing with Hamas, Gaza, all of that, man, all of the Lebanon, all that's war, and it's people being killed every day, and they're not telling you about every single casualty. But just know that the wars and the rumors of wars are already taking place. The earthquakes in diverse places these things are already taking place. But just wait till a lot of these things take place in America. Because America is what? It's Babylon the Great. This is going to be the worst judgment of them all. Verse 4 of Isaiah chapter 34 in the NLT, it says, the heavens above will melt away and disappear like a rolled up scroll. The stars will fall from the sky like withered leaves from a grapevine or shriveled figs from a fig tree. What? So remember that nuclear smoke, all that nuclear smoke, fire, all that is going. Yo, you're not going to see all the things above, man. It's going to surpass all. You're going to, like, like these regular clouds. You're not going to see none of that. It's going to be all nuclear smoke. You're not going to see the stars. You're not going to see the sun. Remember, they said the day of the Lord is darkness, not light. How's it going to be dark? From all that nuclear smoke, nuclear fire. Remember, it's going to be a bunch of missiles shot. And that great day of the Lord, that great hot day, the day of the Lord's indignation, this is all what's prepping for to happen. All the stuff with Russia, all the stuff with Ukraine, small hats, America, Iran. These are all the nations fighting already. So when they all come to that great battle, that great day, where that great battle takes place, that's when YAHAWASHI comes back. And that's when all the world is going to know that there is a God in Israel, and his name is YAHWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. And you're going to see YAHAWASHI. The world is going to see, even the non-believers of our people, you're going to see YAHAWASHI. You're going to understand how you were wrong. All you scoffers, all you people that tell you you're bugging for believing this cartoon ass shit, you're going to be made a cartoon. Verse 5, and it says, and when my sword has finished its work in the heavens, it will fall upon Edom. So that's who's Edom? The so-called white people. You come from the seed of Esau. And all you tares and all you, the seed where it got away and got into the other nations that look like other nations. All you Edomites, they said the sword's going to fall upon who? He says, and when my sword has finished its work in the heavens, so after the smoke clears, then your judgment. Because all you Edomites, you elites, you super rich Edomites, you're gonna survive the nuclear blast because you're gonna be underground. You're gonna survive this, but you're not gonna survive what? The YAHAWASHI judgment, because he's gonna get you personally. So yeah, it says it's Isaiah chapter 34 verse 5 in the NLT, and it says, and when my sword has finished its work in the heavens, it will fall upon Edom, the nation I have marked for destruction. He said, the nation I have marked for destruction. You Esau. Oh, and you know who's an Edomite? You know who's a famous? Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, the Rothschilds, central banking families. All you so-called Jews, Jays, you small hats, Orthodox, Russians, Slovakians, Armenians. All EU, Europe, Poland, Sweden, all those countries was Edomite factor, Edomite heads. You're all going to be what? This all for y'all. And this is what the one true living God said. You have Israelites amongst these countries as well, but if you're not part of the elect, you're toast. No matter where you're at, no matter what you look like. And it says, verse 6 of Isaiah chapter 34 in the NLT, it says, the sword of the Lord is drenched with blood. Now, you'll never hear this in the churches. And this is not the King James. This is the NLT, a more modern version. It says, the sword of the Lord is drenched with blood and covered with fat, with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of rams prepared for sacrifice. Yes, the Lord will offer a sacrifice in the city of Basra. He will make a mighty slaughter in Edom. Now, why is he addressing the nation of Edom specifically? Because why? He said they're marked for destruction. The other nations are not going to be completely, utterly destroyed. They're not going to be exterminated. But you Edomites, ain't going to be no more pink-ass motherfuckers walking the earth. Remember, that appearance was not always around, and then it was around for a time. But the Lord said, what? Now, what did he say, Obadiah? There should be no more remaining in the house of Esau. So ain't gonna be no more Donald Trumps, no more Joe Bidens, no more small hats. You're gonna be, when YAHAWASHI comes back and you serve that bit of captivity, you're gonna be Esau. You're gonna everything's gonna be brought back to remembrance. You're gonna know that you're the Edomites, and the whole world's gonna know that we're the Israelites, and that we're the sons and daughters of God. Because we're gonna have God-like abilities, man, even more than what we have now. Because what, we're still subject to death. We're still subject to get sick. We're still subject to worries of the flesh. We're not gonna have those issues when YAHAWASHI comes back. That's why we pray that the Lord said, "With these days be short," and man, it can't move fast enough, but it's moving to the Lord's time. But anything we hasten the day, man. Why would we not hasten to become gods on earth and to become rulers on earth? To have God-like ability, to be immortals. Why would you not hasten that? But the story had to play out. And now the story's playing out. But that's really pretty much it. So, with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm gonna give all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM Kakadash. Double honors to the Apostle of Israel, aka the Apostle of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. Shalom.